We have a small grammar problem. So today I'm going to be talking about kind of how we got here, what we're going to do to fix it, and what I will do next time with my other children. Hi everyone, welcome to our homeschool table. My name is Jerilyn. I'm a mom of 3 kids, ages 10, 3, and 1. This is our 6th year homeschooling. Here on my channel, I like to talk all things homeschool, curriculum, planning, organization, and reflecting on uh, kind of what we've experienced in our last 5 years of homeschooling, how I might change things going forward, and kind of what we're doing now. So if that's interesting to you, go ahead and grab a cup of coffee or your favorite drink or a load of laundry to fold, and let's get started. So let's go back in time a little bit and talk about when my daughter was in first grade. She's in 5th grade now. When she was in first grade, we were finishing up level 3 and level 4 of All About Reading. She was an extremely strong reader, and so I thought that it would be great for her to get a little bit of introduction into grammar concepts. When she was in kindergarten, I had heard of a company called The Well-Trained Mind, and we picked up their first language lessons level 1 curriculum. We started it towards the beginning of the school year, and we were really liking the program. It incorporated memory work of grammar concepts. Mostly, I remember nouns and pronouns. It also incorporated poetry memorization, which my daughter really liked, and simple copy work for her to do as well. The lessons were very short. They took us maybe 5 to 10 minutes to work on, and we thought it was really great. Back when she was in kindergarten and towards the beginning of first grade, I really had my mind set on using BJU Press English once she got to 2nd grade, because that is the level that English started at. So I hadn't really considered staying with first language lessons past 1st grade. So it wasn't really even something I was thinking about. With that said, we started 2nd grade and we used BJU Press English 2. And the thing that I really liked about the program was that it alternated back and forth between a grammar lesson or unit and a writing lesson. So it was nice to go back and forth so that you weren't just always doing writing or always doing grammar. In 2nd grade, my daughter didn't love the program. She especially didn't like the writing part and the writing process specifically. And I just assumed that it was because that wasn't her thing. She wasn't into writing. So I wound up going ahead and getting the BJU English 3 program for 3rd grade. And about halfway through the year, we just decided to drop it because it wasn't going well. There were constant arguments, and it was just causing a lot of division in our relationship, and I wasn't really willing to continue on with something that was going so poorly. Nobody was enjoying it. So a little bit into 3rd grade, I wound up picking up Life Pack Language Arts, just a few of the units, and that was fine. My daughter liked it pretty well. It was colorful, and she looked forward to doing it. I didn't really care for how it was laid out with each unit. You had to kind of figure out how much to do each day. And while that's great for flexibility, it just wasn't how my brain worked. So I didn't want necessarily to continue on with it. So then in 4th grade, we were going to order the Sunlight Level D readers. And when I got them off of eBay, they just happened to come with the full language arts program also. And that wasn't what I had planned to use for 4th grade language arts. But since it came with it, I thought, oh, well, let's go ahead and give it a try and see if we like it. My daughter, of course, really loved all of the books that came with the reader set. But when it came to the language arts lessons, I thought they were fine. They had kind of a Charlotte Mason approach with copy work and studied dictation, and then they would sprinkle in some grammar concepts here and there. And the writing part wasn't incredibly challenging. It was just a fourth grade level writing, in my opinion. So I thought all of that was fine. But towards the end of the year, once we got to about week 25 or 26, I believe, we were just kind of over it, and she kept reading the readers, but we kind of stepped back from the writing language arts program. Towards the end of fourth grade, she also started doing Fix-It Grammar Level 1 called The Nose Tree, and she really liked that program. If you haven't heard of it, it is very simple. The lesson has, on the first day, just a simple lesson that you read through with your student, and then they practice one sentence a day for 4 days a week. And I would let her just take the lead on that mostly, since it was so kind of basic and things that she had already heard before. I wasn't very concerned about helping her a ton with it. And she was able to complete 10 weeks of lessons in fourth grade towards the end of the year. So now we're in fifth grade, and our language arts curriculum is a little bit more eclectic than we've done before. So we are using the lesson book from Sherry Hayes at momdelights.com for copy work, dictation, and written narrations. And then we are also using Fix-It Grammar Level 1 again, and we are finishing weeks 11 through 30. So that program will take us the first 20 weeks of school this year. Well, as we have been going through Fix-It Grammar, I had decided that this year I was going to teach each lesson and then do the first day 1 with her, and then day 2 through 4 she would go ahead and do those independently, and then we would come back and correct any mistakes that she needed to fix. And that is going really well. So now that we are well into Fix-It Grammar, I've been noticing some things that made me start thinking about what I wish I would have done in second through fourth grade or second and third grade instead of what we did. So what I'm noticing is that any of the grammar concepts that my daughter learned from first language lessons with the memory work and constant repetition, more of a classical approach with memory work, she remembers those really easily. And she has no problems with nouns and pronouns, and some of the easier things like coordinating conjunctions, prepositional phrases, things like that. But I've noticed that the other grammar concepts that she learned later on in either BJU, English, or Sunlight Language Arts, she has a really hard time remembering those grammar concepts. So things like verbs and adjectives, she has a really hard time with because she doesn't necessarily remember the definition of a verb or the definition of an adjective and things like that. So we have been having to fix those a lot when she goes into her daily sentence fixing. And so I just noticed that there was a big difference between what she had learned early on with her memory work and what she learned in a more traditional way later on. So that got me thinking that we needed something a little bit different. And the other day I was watching Liz at Blue and Hazel, and she follows a Charlotte Mason homeschool style and is using Ambleside Online, which we have used some parts of in the last couple of years. And she recommended a book for grammar that I had heard of before, and I just kind of had never really thought about getting it for myself. But she said that her kids really liked it. So I went ahead and picked up Grammarland, And this is Grammar in Fun for the Children of Schoolroomshire. And this is an extremely old book. I think I read that the copyright was 1877. It starts out in the introduction with Judge Grammar and his subjects, and it tells a narrative story of the different parts of grammar, but in kind of a personified uh, story. And I really thought that that might help with my daughter being able to remember the different parts of speech. So that is kind of what we're doing to fix the problem. And I'm hoping that by using Grammarland, my daughter will be able to remember the different parts of speech a little bit easier. So I will definitely be including this in my next homeschool update at the end of October to kind of let you know how that's going. But I am really excited to incorporate this book and see if it helps her to remember those concepts a little bit better. If I could go back and kind of redo first through fourth grade, what I would probably do this next time, which I have two younger kids, they're only 3 and 1 right now, so this will be a little while. But what I think that I might try next time is doing first language lessons for the well-trained mind in first through fourth grades. I believe it goes through level 4. And do more of that classical style of grammar lessons early on and not worry so much about writing. In a Charlotte Mason education, usually students don't start doing a lot of writing until about 4th or 5th grade, about around age 10. So I have really relaxed as far as what I would expect a younger student to do in, say, 2nd and 3rd grade. I think going forward with my other two children, my plan will be to start first language lessons around 1st or 2nd grade. It kind of depends for me on how well they're reading. And my first daughter, she was a very early reader, so it worked out well for us. So if my other kids are like that as well, and I do start introducing grammar in 1st grade, then I definitely want to start with first language lessons and do all 4 levels, 1st through 4th grade. Then in 5th grade or so, we might start into fix-it grammar or something else if we wind up going a different route. But that is kind of how I plan to change things for my other kids because of what I learned teaching my older daughter. So I hope that this might help some of you with just choices for grammar and not feeling like you have to start formal grammar lessons from such an early age. I think that starting something like first language lessons where it's very simple and it's mostly just verbal listening and reciting and things like that, I think that is a much more child-friendly approach, in my opinion, than trying to start formal grammar lessons in 2nd grade when, especially when they do not love writing and things like that. So I hope that this will encourage someone out there listening that it's okay to wait on a formal grammar curriculum and that you can do things a little bit more simply early on. And then when you do get into the higher grades where you do start a formal grammar curriculum, they will have more of a foundation for remembering the different parts of speech and the terms and what they mean. If you enjoy talking about curriculum and homeschool and planning, things like that, don't forget to subscribe down below so that you can be part of our YouTube family here. And hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments what you have used for grammar or what you are thinking about using. I would love to know what you have found beneficial in your homeschool. So definitely let me know that down below. If you have any questions or things to share about anything that I talked about today, go ahead and leave that down in the comments as well. Thank you so much for hanging out with me at our homeschool table today, and we'll see you next time.